Lake Titicaca has long been a place wrapped in myth, a high-altitude mirror of sky and silence where legends cling to the cold water as tightly as the fog. At nearly 4,000 meters above sea level, perched between Bolivia and Peru, the lake has inspired stories for centuries. To the ancient peoples of the Andes, it was not simply a body of water. It was the birthplace of gods, the forge of worlds, and the cradle of civilizations. Every ripple, they believed, carried a memory. For the Inca, the lake was the place where creation began after a cleansing flood wiped the world bare. From these waters, the god Viracocha was said to have emerged to form the sun, the sky, and the first humans. On the island of the sun, he called forth Inti, the radiant deity of daylight, and from there came Manco Capac and Mama Oclo, the mythic ancestors who were sent to bring order and knowledge to humankind. Even today, ruins on that island echo these old stories, and those who visit say the wind seems to whisper their names. Yet the Inca were not the first to honor the lake. Centuries before them, the Tiwanaku civilization flourished on its southern shore. Their capital lay kilometers away, but they returned over and over to the lake's islands and waters, treating it as a living being with moods and power. They carved images of pumas, condors, and serpents into their temples, symbols that many believe relate to the lake's name. To them, Titicaca was a sacred presence, a silent watcher that could bless or punish. Generations of Aymara and Quechua families have passed down older tales, ones that speak of a lost city swallowed by the lake. Some called it Huanacu, a place that vanished in a single night, its disappearance blamed on offended gods. Fishermen told of seeing stone columns beneath the moonlit surface or hearing faint bell-like echoes from a world long drowned. When the Spanish arrived, they listened with a mix of skepticism and curiosity. The stories of hidden gold and sunken temples gave rise to the idea of an Andean Atlantis. But for hundreds of years, no one could confirm or dismiss any of it. The lake was simply too deep and too cold. Then in 1968, Jacques Cousteau brought new attention to the mystery. He and his divers, equipped with technology never used before at such altitude, descended into the lake's numbing waters. Breathing alone was a challenge in the thin air, yet they pressed on. Cousteau didn't find golden palaces, but he uncovered enormous aquatic frogs, creatures with folds of skin adapted to the low-oxygen environment. He also filmed pottery fragments and stone blocks beneath the water near the island of the sun, objects that hinted at human presence where no humans should have been. Though he did not confirm the legends, his discoveries reignited interest in the lake's secrets. In the years that followed, divers and researchers returned again and again. Japanese teams in 1977 found carved stone boxes resting on the lakebed, offering containers from ancient ceremonies. In 1988, explorers discovered more boxes, some filled with gold figurines, shells, and the remains of llama sacrifices. These finds confirmed that both the Tiwanaku and the Inca had deposited sacred objects into the lake during rituals meant to honor the divine. Local communities, however, viewed the increasing intrusions with concern. For them, the lake had spirits that must not be disturbed, and only through careful ceremonies and respect could researchers continue. In 2000, one of the most ambitious expeditions began, though not without controversy. Local leaders initially halted the project until proper rituals were performed to ask the lake's permission. Once granted, the team used sonar scans and dozens of dives to explore a submerged area near the southeastern edge of Titicaca. What they found stunned the world. A vast complex stretching across nearly 200,000 square meters, including plazas, terraces, roads, and stone structures up to 150 meters long. The ruins appeared older than the Inca and possibly as ancient as early Tiwanaku culture, suggesting that an entire ceremonial city once stood where the lake now lies. International media seized on the discovery, calling it the Atlantis of the Andes, but to local elders, it was simply the confirmation of stories they had always known. Further discoveries accumulated over the next decade. In the early 2000s, divers uncovered a possible tomb containing human bone fragments. In 2013, archaeologists found a crevice packed with ceremonial objects untouched for 5 centuries. Incense burners shaped like pumas, bones of baby llamas drowned in ritual offerings, and ornaments of gold and shell. In 2014, a sealed Andean offering box yielded a golden bracelet and a carved llama made from spondylus shell, the first intact underwater Inca offering box ever recovered. By 2012, Bolivia, Peru, and UNESCO launched a major collaborative project to survey the entire lake using advanced sonar and hundreds of dives. Over 25 new submerged sites were identified, dwellings, plazas, terraces, even what seemed to be a port once used by large ancient boats. More than 20,000 artifacts were catalogued, forming the largest underwater archive of Andean history ever assembled. Indigenous groups were invited to participate directly, offering their knowledge and ensuring that sacred items were respectfully handled. Their partnership helped bridge modern science with ancestral memory. As climate patterns shifted and lake levels dropped in the early 2020s, previously hidden shorelines resurfaced, revealing more clues. Taking advantage of the lower water, researchers deployed autonomous underwater vehicles capable of descending far deeper than human divers. In 2023, one such vehicle mapped a peculiar formation about 5 kilometers off Puerto Acosta. The sonar signatures were strange, geometric, sharply angled, unlike natural rock. A follow-up mission in early 2024 sent a remotely operated vehicle equipped with high-resolution cameras and robotic arms. When the cameras illuminated the lakebed, the control room fell silent. There lay a polished stone slab over 2 meters long. Clearing the sediment revealed more stones arranged in a straight line. Behind them rose a 3-tiered step pyramid, its base 30 meters wide and aligned almost perfectly along a north-south axis. Its resemblance to structures at Tiwanaku was immediate, yet it was distinct, older, simpler, and more eroded. What truly shocked the researchers were the markings on one of the stones. Cross-hatched lines and spirals unlike any known Andean symbols. They did not match Inca or Tiwanaku motifs. They looked, some whispered, like a form of writing, something no highland civilization was thought to have developed. Nearby, bones appeared scattered in the silt. Some were from large camelids, others were human. One skull lay half-buried, calcified and coated in algae. If authentic, it would represent the first deep-water human remain found in the lake's archaeological layers. Initial analysis of surrounding sediments suggested a date between 500 and 200 BC, potentially 1,000 years older than Tiwanaku. It hinted at cultures like Chiripa or Pucara, peoples who lived before recorded history in the Andes. The discovery suggested that the timeline of highland civilization might be far older and more complex than anyone imagined. When footage from the ROV leaked in 2024, media outlets erupted with theories of unknown civilizations and lost worlds.